Long-running series always hold a special place in our lives, because we don't just watch a story, we grow alongside the characters. Their journeys touch different periods of our own lives, scenes that made us laugh as children start to make us think as we grow older, and sometimes even a cartoon can play a key role in helping us understand who we are. Adventure Time is exactly that kind of series. When it started, it seemed like a simple adventure, but over the years, Finn's journey became our own. Friendship, love, loneliness, loss, in short, the growing pains, they were all woven into this series. What we call growing pains aren't just about our bodies growing, our voices changing, or the physical changes that come with age. The real pain lies in the storms we experience inside. Our first disappointment, the end of friendships that seemed they would last forever, the heartbreak of our first love, or waking up one morning and realizing we're no longer children. These are the true growing pains, because growing up is a journey, and along that journey we rediscover ourselves, who we are, and even who we want to become. Have you ever felt this? That moment when the curtain of childhood slowly lifts and you start seeing the world differently? Adventure Time captures this very pain from the eyes of a hero. Before continuing the video, I want to share this. Making these videos brings me a lot of joy. Normally, my channel focuses on animated shorts, but over time I want to create deeper and more comprehensive content. If you like the videos, comment and subscribe. It really helps me grow the channel and create more content. Every interaction is part of this journey, and we can grow together.
Shoot, yeah, I'll slay anything that's evil. That's my deal.
In Finn's first adventures, everything was fairly simple. There were good guys, bad guys, and almost always everything ended up okay. Finn's innocence, optimism, and desire to be a hero were his biggest motivations to explore the world. From a child's perspective, he believed he could solve any problem. In Finn's childhood, friendship was at the center of everything. Jake was like a brother, BMO a playmate, and Bubblegum a hero he admired. These relationships showed that even when Finn saw the world in black and white, bonds could still be incredibly strong. For young Finn, the world was black and white. Complex emotions and adult problems were beyond his understanding. But this innocence also drew the audience into his adventures, creating a fun yet touching connection. For example, in the Evicted episode, Finn and Jake experience major disappointment when Marceline takes over their tree fort.
Good night!
For Finn, this moment deeply conveys a sense of injustice and loss. Being a child, he expresses his anger and sadness directly. These reactions are sometimes funny, sometimes dramatic. As viewers, we laugh with him, but also begin to understand how a child perceives significant problems. At first, the Ice King was simply an enemy to Finn. He constantly fought him and stopped him from kidnapping princesses. For Finn, this was the clearest definition of being a hero, fighting against evil. But over time, as we start to see the Ice King's loneliness and brokenness, Finn's concept of enemy slowly begins to change.
There wasn't enough gum to work with, so it appears Princess Bubblegum is now younger. She's 13 years old now.
Oh, dang it! Well, I'm out of here. Goodbye, everyone.
These early seasons lay the foundation for Finn's character. Brave, optimistic, innocent, but also a child taking the first steps of a growing journey. This period prepares him for more complex emotional challenges in later seasons. One of the most important growing pains is perhaps the first love and the heartbreaks that follow. Finn's journey was full of both excitement and disappointment. We first see his relationship with Princess Bubblegum. His admiration for her is intense, but she is unreachable. The age and status differences make the relationship impossible from the start. Episodes like Too Young and Too Old explore this dilemma. Finn wants to approach her with his childlike heart, but Bubblegum's maturity prevents the feelings from being reciprocated. This was one of Finn's first major disappointments. Later comes Flame Princess. This relationship represents Finn's first real love experience. Their bond is more innocent and emotional. In Burning Low, we feel the excitement of Finn's love, but things change. In Frost and Fire, Finn finds Flame Princess and Ice King's fight overly enticing. He even tries to manipulate the situation to experience it again. Here, the issue is not jealousy, but Finn's selfish and childlike curiosity. This behavior, however, destroys Flame Princess's trust and becomes a turning point that ends the relationship.
Shoot, man, are you still lady sad about Flame Princess? You know, it's okay if you are.
Nah, that's all fine. I just been feeling kinda gray is all. Like, my inside voice has been kind of quiet lately.
One of the clearest depictions of Finn's post-heartbreak emptiness is in Dungeon Train. Finn becomes obsessed with fighting and leveling up endlessly inside a never-ending train. In reality, this is a meaningless distraction to fill the void in his heart. He chooses distraction over facing his pain. As viewers, we see how he constantly seeks new adventures to suppress his pain, but inside, he still hasn't healed. This episode reminds us that growing up is not just about heroics, but sometimes about accepting pain.
It's all over now.
You mean we're getting off the train?
Well, you are. I'm gonna keep playing for a while. I'll meet you back home in a week or two.
Oh man, don't you see? That's just the train talking. It's got its hooks in you.
No, for real. My inside voice is telling me it's time.
Perhaps the most painful episode, Breezy.
I'm lost in the darkness. What will this bring? Autumn descends on me. Autumn.
Here, Finn falls into a void after heartbreak. He tries to comfort himself with superficial pursuits, but nothing fills the emptiness. As viewers, we feel Finn's broken heart and that he needs time to heal. Finn's journey eventually involves not just external enemies, but his own inner conflicts. The black and white line of good and evil from childhood starts to blur. As Finn grew, he realized that some enemies were simply misunderstood friends. Learning about the Ice King's past and his identity as Simon, he could no longer see him as a simple villain. Instead of fighting him, he tried to understand his loneliness. This was one of the most important steps in Finn's growth, empathy. In the tower, we see Finn's anger. The resentment and loneliness caused by his father abandoning him push Finn to a nearly destructive point. He builds a massive tower, symbolizing the anger and helplessness he feels towards someone unreachable. Finn reveals for the first time how fragile he is beneath his hero mask. Next comes the island's mini-series. Finn confronts his origins, family, and where he comes from. This journey is not just a physical exploration, but also a spiritual confrontation. He learns that his identity as the last human is not entirely accurate. This frees him, but also leaves him with a great void. Throughout seasons 6 to 8, Finn is no longer just Oo's hero. He is a young person wrestling with trauma, loneliness, and identity. Sometimes he cannot control his anger. Sometimes he struggles with heartbreak. As viewers, we realize that the greatest battles are sometimes not against monsters, but the struggles within ourselves. One of Finn's deepest internal journeys takes place in Hall of Egress.
Wait.
Finn keeps trying to leave the same cave, only to return to the start each time. Though it appears to be a physical trap, it is in fact a mental and emotional labyrinth. To find the way out, he must accept it rather than fight it. This is when he truly grows. Sometimes problems are solved not by defeating them, but by learning to live with them. This episode is one of the most poetic moments where Finn confronts his own being beyond heroics.
Something's different.
By the final seasons, Finn was no longer a child. Being a hero no longer meant just defeating villains or swinging a sword. Years of friendships, losses, and heartbreaks had brought him to a different place. He understood the complexity of life. There were no pure good or evil, only people with different paths, pains, and choices. Finn's maturity is most evident in his relationships. As a child, he had once admired Princess Bubblegum as an unreachable love. Now he observes her and her bond with Marceline without jealousy. He has learned not to overshadow others' happiness and to find his own path. Finn no longer seeks approval from others, he begins to accept his own identity. The finale, Come Along With Me, is the culmination of this journey. Great battles end, friendships are tested, some losses occur. But amid all this chaos, Finn learns the most important lesson: life goes on. Even after wars, heartbreaks, and unanswered questions, time moves forward and people continue to live. At this point, Finn's story is no longer just a hero's tale. His growing pains touch our own life journey, because we all eventually realize, as children, we see the world in black and white. As teens, we chase big dreams. And as adults, we understand that some questions remain unanswered, some wounds never fully heal. Yet we keep moving forward. Finn's story ends not as a hero, but as a human. It shows us the importance of growing up, accepting life, and continuing despite everything. And so, Finn's journey reminds us that growing up is never just about victories or battles won. It's about the quiet moments, the heartbreaks, the the friendships that shape us, and the lessons that linger long after the adventure ends.
Close to biting it back there. I never would have gotten out of there without your singing. It's amazing how strong that song was.
Music is powerful, man. It speaks to a primal pit in our brains. It makes anyone want to get up and get their knees going. Gotta get them pumping, pumping, pumping. Boom, 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 boom.
Adventure Time shows us that life is a series of journeys, some joyful, some painful, but each one leaves its mark on who we are. And like Finn, we continue moving forward, learning, forgiving, and discovering our own path. In the end, we realize that being a hero isn't about conquering everything. It's about embracing life with all its complexity and finding the courage to keep going. That is the true magic of growing up. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps me create more videos like this and keeps the adventure going.
Hey, Finn.
Ah! Excuse me. Hi, PB.
I just wanted to come say thank you for disobeying my orders this morning. I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
See you tomorrow.